members are here. Number 47, new Class A beer license for 72 Mini Market DBA Ziko 7202 West Lincoln Avenue. Agent Juan Loria. Is
Yes.
Juan here? Juan, can you pop a squat somewhere up here?
Sure.
Thanks.
Government phones are.
That's right. That's right.
Sit down.
Anyone. Official terminology. All right, so this is the Ziko on Lincoln, and I see here that you're looking to just have a Class A beer license with 3 coolers
Yes,
that would occupy that.
that's correct.
And then, let's see, have you ran a retail shop that has sold, beer, or alcohol in
Not
the
at all.
past? Okay, are you familiar with all the state laws of when you're allowed to start selling, you have to stop selling? Obviously, carding
Yes,
is important. You did have as part of your, proposed hours is 6 AM to 9 PM.
yeah.
Is that just your opening hours?
Open hour for the gas station and, the beers can be started 8 to 9.
Okay, and then when when it's not allowed to be sold during those hours, do you plan to lock those
Yeah,
coolers?
that's the point, that, before 8 o'clock, right, we can take the locks, we start sell beer.
Okay, and then the clerk's office did ask for, a little bit of a more detailed floor plan, kind of indicating like directions of what was north and south, as well as where you're gonna, where the liquor, the coolers for the, beer is gonna be, as well as where the cigarettes are. Were you able to update them with that?
I don't remember.
Okay. I know as of like the 11th, I don't.
The gas station, the right side, we got a lock side because we got the cigarette and everything as well. Right across, all the way to the Fiona Road, east of the store, is the cooler is. So we can see from here to the
So the
front.
clerk station can see where the
Yes,
beer coolers are?
yeah,
And then the cigarettes are behind the counter?
behind the counter.
Is there any further questions? Yes.
Were you applying for an entertainment license also?
No, not at all.
It does say that they're applying for public entertainment premises license and a cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail license. Are you planning on having, like slot machines or a DJ?
No, not at all.
No
So
problem.
you're not applying for public
No,
entertainment?
maybe it was a mistake when I was maybe typing or something like that.
Yeah.
I hit the wrong spot.
Accidentally checked.
By mistake, but no, I don't think so, DJ.
You also understand that all of your cashiers doing the service will need bartending licenses. You know that, correct?
Yeah. Also, everybody else to be alternate.
Yeah, in order to sell it.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
and you can only buy from licensed wholesalers.
That's right.
Is there any further, questions for the applicant? Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Sure.
Yes.
Just make sure to clarify that the entertainment license is not part of that motion to approve.
As amended.
So motion to approve that the entertainment license is not approved and that, we don't need to adjust the hours, do we, on the application or reflect 8 AM as long as he's aware that it's not gonna be sold?
No, I wouldn't worry about it on the application because by law, he would be restricted to it.
Okay. So there was a first and then a second as amended?
Second as amended.
All right, any further discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good luck.
Okay, thank you so much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
so you'll see we added non-existing or existing to the titles. The intent was to indicate whether there was a licensed premises there previously last year. If you want to mean something else, just please let us know.
Thank you. Number 48, new Class B Tavern and Public Entertainment License for JA LLC DBA Shamrock, 6851 West Beloit Road, Agent Jody Hay. All right, Jody, come on up. Yep.
Popular spot, yeah.
All right, so you had previously had a liquor license for Shamrocks within your own DBA. You were the agent. You understand all.
I didn't get my paperwork in time, and that's,
Okay, so I was just gonna ask
That's
why,
what it was.
why there was a lapse, so
I get it
just
in
to
and
get it in.
now I had to go through everything.
Summer vacation.
Exactly.
You're on summer vacation.
You were there, sure. So you had fun.
Okay, So I mean, obviously you have ran Shamrocks prior to that for how many years? 15. You understand all the state laws, all the police, all that good spiel. I don't have any further questions. Does anyone have any further questions for that?
I do not.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Okay, first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Yep,
So I can go tomorrow to City Hall to get,
there'll be,
You check, Open Gov, it should be, set up by.
you'll get an email when it's updated.
perfect. Thank you very much.
You're
everybody.
welcome.
Good night.
You too.
Sorry for everybody's costs since they got here.
Yeah, thank you. Number 49, new existing Class B Tavern for West Allis, FP LLC, FBA Fat Patties, 2865 South 108th Street. Agent Lisa McIntyre, sorry, McIntyre.
Might have liked it too.
Right. So this is the location, 2865 South 108th, that's the old Applebee's. Okay, and then, who is Lisa? Okay, and then is there Jaya here? Or,
JS9.
okay, so is she just an additional member that lives in Florida? Is she like a business partner or?
But she actually owns the entity,
Okay,
and I'm actually the operator. I'm the vice president of operations, so
Okay.
that's why I'm
okay.
And who are you?
Are you Monica?
Maria Yusafi.
All right, so this is going to be pretty much a restaurant. What do you guys serve? Burgers? Is that what Fat Patties is? Is it?
Yeah. Burgers, appetizers.
Okay. Is, this a individual or is this like a chain? Or do you have like other sister restaurants throughout the US or the state of Wisconsin?
It's in West Virginia, yeah,
Oh, okay.
and Kentucky,
All right.
and this is the first one in Wisconsin.
And then the proposed hours will be, Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. No DJ pool tables. You're gonna have the security cameras there, inside out with an alarm. You guys are aware of what's required for serving alcohol. All bartenders must take the class, otherwise someone on premise has to be there with a functional liquor or bartending license.
Yes.
Okay.
Patties? That's us.
Is there other questions for them?
Chair, I just want to put out, there is a fatty patty.
Yes, I was gonna
That's my
ask.
question. I tried to look confused. I thought they were making.
Literally all our stuff got delivered to him. Somehow the UPS kept thinking, no, that's gonna be a mistake.
Typo on the address.
That's
This is
close.
108th Street.
Yeah, literally like about 2 miles apart.
Yeah.
How odd is that? You know, we've been in business since 2000.
Right.
Started our first chain, and obviously we have everything trademarked and everything. And poor guy, I know he's having
You're gonna
some
send him a cease.
difficulties because,
You're gonna send him a cease and desist?
They send them,
and I didn't find out actually until I called the health department.
but we stay out of that. I just want you to know that there is one right down the street.
We do know, our applicants have been showing up there for their interviews.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to get them at.
we've had some confusion for sure.
Do the other locations in other states also, serve liquor and beer?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Oh, should I go?
How many locations?
There are 5 locations, and the 6th one is opening in Town Rivers, New Jersey, in a couple of weeks after us.
Then,
Hopefully.
a quick personal request. Have you started remodeling yet?
We did the front of the house, the back of the house remained with the old Applebee's
Right, because-
equipment.
Applebee's decor had some West Dallas photos in it.
Yes, sir.
Is it all gone?
It's all gone, but we did leave the West Dallas right when you come in on the front door.
My twin daughters were the 2 girls on the east wall. They were 10 years old.
One at their wall.
I wanted that wallpaper, but I've been keeping an eye on it. I haven't seen the work.
Well, let us check and see if they kept anything, yeah.
Because one of them just had a baby 2 weeks ago, and the other one's due in 3 weeks. But they were like 10 years old in that picture from the wall. I've been hoping I could get in there.
Well, I will certainly find out from the guy.
Who dumpster dive?
I was gonna say, it might have.
Well, no, they might have pulled them. Yeah.
I'll catch up with you. And I'm glad to see somebody else going in there.
Very excited.
I know that space was busy. I don't know exactly what happened with Applebee's management, but glad to see something going on. The mobility all.
Yeah.
Do you have a time frame on opening?
Well, we're scheduled for the 18th. We were supposed to have the occupancy permit inspection today, but because of everything that
It's
has
been a busy week
happened,
for us.
it was delayed till Monday, so we're hoping by Tuesday. we can
Thank you for
open.
your patience with that.
Oh, no, we,
It's bigger things happen.
yes,
It looks
absolutely.
amazing.
And side note, Marty, it's nice to see you so nostalgic.
It's sweet.
It's a different side of you.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any
I'm a big
further
sweetheart.
questions for the applicants?
I do not.
Is there a
Move
motion?
approval.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, number 50, new existing Class B Tavern and Public Entertainment License for Ubar LLC DBA Ubar 5732 West Mitchell Street. Agent Josephine Crosley. So Josephine, you had previously already ran this establishment. Looks like there was a lapse in the renewal.
Yep,
What kind of caused it not to be renewed?
so I was unaware that my seller's permit had expired, and when I went to renew the liquor license, I had to, get the seller's permits squared away first, and I didn't have enough time to do that before the, liquor license expired.
Gotcha. And you have ran Ubar for how long now?
2 years.
And then you also have another establishment, Sports Medicine, right?
No, that, is the LLC of the owner of the building that I lease. But I have no
So
affiliation.
you lease, so
other-
you don't affiliate with that. Ubar is its own, and you have ran that for 2 years.
Correct.
You're aware of all the state requirements, obviously. All that. I mean, considering the fact that you've ran it for 2 years, I don't have any further questions. Is there any further questions for the applicant? No? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good luck again. All right, number 51, we are going to hold as the other council members want to be present during that discussion. So we're going to move on to item number 52, special event permit and zoning exception request for No Back Manor. Proposed temporary, perfect. I do have one discussion item. Patty, if you guys can just make sure whichever's on the corner.
Yes, we
Work
did
with
move it
Dan.
last year. I'm guessing it just wasn't
I'm
moved
here.
far enough. And I also had
Sorry.
kind of
Yes,
said,
you did. I did give her, I did say no right away, because I just put it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Then
we were entertained.
the more responsible half did get the information. I did move it back where it was acceptable.
And I think, just to mention it too, I don't think a temporary, we have a two-way stop on our corner. I don't think a temporary four-way stop is a bad idea, so I will look into see if that's something that's possible. I'm
Yeah.
happy to do it.
I
Which I
think,
know, just like Candy Lane, that would be checked. Not a city expense that would come out of.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, see what it is, as we know, engineering, sometimes stop signs are, false, safe
Well, and
goods.
temporary ones, the neighbors aren't used to it being there.
Yeah,
So they tend to
And the
blow it,
pedestrians might be thinking that car's gonna
Not
stop.
trusting the stop sign.
Yes.
whereas
Neighbors
they're
are-
not used to it, and that could result in it, and I don't know if necessarily that is
we
really
do
the
have
proper
security
approach.
out there in
Obviously.
vests, like neon vests, so maybe we could just add another one out there.
Yeah, speak with engineering, obviously get their input, of what they think about it. If they feel it would be, again, like a false safety measure that could cause more people just assuming, then I don't say we go down that
Typically,
path.
because when both sides are parked on, you can still get two if everyone's parking appropriately, but you obviously go slower. So I see it differently, whereas the whole speeding doesn't make sense to me because you just got them telling me that it's so busy that you can't move. So I don't quite know which way we're going.
But, right,
So typically when both sides are parked on, the traffic going past the house does go slower. But again, I'm not an engineer, so.
I was gonna say, I think that's the information that you give usually is that.
yeah,
or park cars slower to go, so.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
and on that traffic safety issue, the idea of temporary no parking over the plant debris in the street, I think it's just gonna open up for people to drive faster there.
It seems a little weird to me that, I mean, a roadway is for parking and driving. I understand that we do create more traffic and that kind of stuff, which is why we also had all our actors and volunteers park surrounding our property, so there wasn't the coming and going indoors and all that kind of stuff to at least try to make that better. But yeah, again, if there's a suggestion.
But I would also say that if we made that a no parking area, people would still use it as a drop off. So they're still gonna be driving on that plant debris truck. So I don't think making it no parking is gonna solve the issue that
I completely
I
agree.
mean, I can leave her a note and I'll just take her read it myself, so it doesn't sit
Oh,
there.
that would be nice. But obviously not required here. There's been a motion, a second. Again, just please make sure that nothing's in a vision triangle. So motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Present,
give the option to abstain.
abstain.
All right, that's it.
Thank you.
Have fun. Have luck.
Always.
Number 53, conditional use permit for the Butcher's Word, a proposed food production use at 1320 South 108th Street. Is there any discussion on it?
Madam Chair, Bill.
Hi there.
Hi.
We've been working for a little while here. Yeah. That space.
When are you looking to open?
Well, right now, the timeline that we discussed is gonna be probably about 5 to 6 months. From probably close to 6.
Because you haven't even signed the lease yet, I imagine. You're waiting to get this.
We got the lease signed. Yes, sir. We're just, waiting on funding.
Was there any discussion or questions for the applicant?
Second, to have a butcher.
Yeah, I'm very much a carnivore. I think that's gonna be great. So is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good luck to you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, number 54, discussion to amend the West Allis Municipal Code relative to residential accessory buildings, building coverage maximum, and also relative to recovery resident uses. Is there, Steve?
For a little presentation.
Okay.
Look at that, Joe, is there a way to, just instead of sharing it, but. Check.
This guy in the room, fix it.
Question.
The discussion was interesting. Wait a minute. She's been working on it. No, she said she's already run some scenarios. Run some numbers and all that.
She's awesome.
Let's see if she kind of. Instead of fighting City Hall. Well, except for. Doesn't make sense.
What was the grant for?
It's a facade improvement.
Oh, the facade grant, I believe that's under public works, let me,
In here.
what
Is that under economic development?
Not on admin.
It was,
Is it part of the
27.
consent?
Oh,
Not
did it go
consent.
agenda?
It's on the consent agenda. It's already approved.
Congrats.
You're approved, congratulations.
You got the money.
That's the best yes I've ever called it. Yes.
Somebody thinks it ain't.
No, but the other.
Yeah. Even Station Six.
Killing time.
So, this item is a discussion item. It was, Alderman Weigel, Alderman Haas, both had requested, that, we talk about not only accessory, buildings, but then there's a second item about, a special type of care unit, that we've got two of in the city. We'll get into that secondly, but, the first one is with respect to our accessory, building ordinance amendment. This specifically relates to sheds. In the city of West Allis right now, the maximum size of a shed is 150 square feet. Now, it went up from 120 to 130 some years ago, but routinely over the past several years, we've been going to the Board of Appeals, as well as there's been a constant request from property owners throughout the city for, requesting a larger shed size. So we took a look at some of the other cities around us, specifically Greenfield, Poso Creek, and compared them to our situation.
Yeah.
And we're on the lower end of the spectrum, and we're looking, I guess, just sort of wanted to bring it to your attention to see if perhaps there should be some more flexibility and capacity within the size of sheds for our city. The one specifically, I think that we're looking at modeling perhaps somewhat after would be Wauwatosa. In terms of how we compare as far as our form of cities. Grid network, similar size lots in many cases. Tosa and Greenfield do tend to line up fairly good, but Tosa, having a specific total, instead of a total square footage amount, they focus more so on the lot coverage itself. That does tend to be a little confusing though for some property owners, and I think just with the way our zoning ordinance is set up, While I like the fact of the flexibility of a percentage, I think we should also maybe consider some maximum cap, whether it's 400 square feet or some number. We can get into that a little bit, but so one is TOSA, for instance. I mean, I guess if we start at the top with Greenfield, they're roughly about 250 square feet, and then they have their setback requirements. It has a fixed cap. 250 square feet is another, would be an additional 100 square feet larger shed size. TOSA has that total lot coverage that they focus upon, and then which would also include, so your lot should not include more than 30%, 37%, which would include main building, a garage, and other accessory buildings. And then it says outbuildings cannot exceed 12% of the lot area. So there is a little bit more variance in that, a little bit more flexibility. But again, not necessarily an upper limit on very large lots. So in Oak Creek, they do allow 2 accessory structures up to 400 square foot cumulative, and then our own 150 square feet.
If someone were to go to like Home Depot or Menards, I know that there's a lot of those like snap together sheds. Is there like a standard size? Is like 250 a standard shed size?
I'm actually looking at putting a shed in myself sometime. So those resin sheds tend to be much smaller. That's the kind of thing you put like a lawnmower in and some rakes and stuff. I like the context-based kind of thing, bigger lot, bigger shed. I know when I was the alderman of the second district, we had a lot of people complaining all the time. I can't get 2 more, I need another car overnight parking permit. And I'd always say, well, car garage is stuff. The reality is. So, and obviously if we go to textual size, that's not gonna help a lot, smaller lots.
Right.
But it's still 150 square feet is not very big.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I have a canoe.
Still lower,
The canoe would not fit in, my canoe's 16 feet long. I end up with like a 17 by 8. To get the canoe.
But at the same token, like 400.
400 is too big. 400,
Way too big on most of the lots.
well, 400 might fit in a couple lots, like in,
Yeah.
you know,
like sure, on your side of town.
yeah, because there are some lots that are 300 feet deep,
Right.
and you wouldn't even see it.
But it doesn't make sense for like D2, right, or D3 probably.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So context is important.
I agree with that.
Usually when you get to that, you're not getting you could get a kit, but I think Tough Shed is the one that you see a lot at Home Depot. Those are engineered and constructed and then delivered on site and installed by their professionals.
And I wanna see how big my she shed could be.
Yes.
Would there be an option to create like an increased larger size that somebody wouldn't have to check on variance for, like say, 250 or something like that, it's automatically okay and just.
Yeah, like
and then if you
37%
want
or
something larger-
250, but if it's 37% equals 400, but it's still only 37, then you're good, you don't need the
Right, like where they
variance.
don't have to go through a whole process if they're putting in something that's
Well,
of X size.
so right now the shed does not require a permit, but if you want to go big, then you have to appeal, and this is the process. And like Steve said, a lot of these appeals have been coming through, and I think most are being granted.
So it's really a waste of time.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So
I'd like
moving
to
up
sort of
to 100.
streamline the process, make it easier for property owners to realize what they want to do within reason. I mean, it may not work for everyone, but I think contextually based, if we, based on some proportion of your lot size, there's a better fit than just saying 150 square feet being done with that. It's probably too hard of a line, and it's not necessarily working. It's adding more stuff.
I agree.
And I'll be honest with you, by dealing with a couple of the shed, the people I've been dealing with, Tough Shed and another manufacturer, they will help you build the biggest one you can.
Well, of course.
Because the data's all there. Yeah, so the data's all there online, they know how big your yard is, they can see how big your building is, they can say, they'll go West Allis is 37% or whatever
Right.
number you end up with. So even the technologically challenged people, I think will have an easy time finding a professional, but put up the biggest shed we can buy. So we probably have to be.
They'll help you spend your money.
Yeah, they want. Steve, can I ask you one thing? We require, cement or asphalt floors. Is that common? You know, I don't know if you researched that or not. I mean, it comes down to being rodent-proof and stable and all that. I understand
It
that.
varies by community, but I mean, I haven't specifically looked at each one of these.
Okay.
But it does vary. I would say that the paved surface is a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, but just say no. It limits, it's expensive. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so it's-
that I'm looking at is about 10K, and the cement alone is like 38.
Yeah.
So it's a substantial part of the investment.
I think Dan wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, so currently, right now, if it's 64 square feet or less, we're not required to have concrete or asphalt.
Okay, so that would be like that resin. kind
Yeah,
of
so,
thing.
because those are typically 8x8, this is common size, so then you could do per manufacture, which might be traffic bond and like a vapor barrier, like sheet of plastic is pretty much it. Once you get over that, then it has to be concrete or asphalt or, you know, something to be anchored down.
Yeah.
And right now,
That'd be interesting.
anything over 150 square feet, we require a permit. 150 square feet or less, we do not require a permit, which I think most communities require a permit no matter what. So we kind of made that a little simpler. So it's easier for the smaller ones. We don't need to go out. You still have to follow the setbacks.
Yeah.
So.
I think that, I know this is discussion only, but I'd like the direction it's going in. And I think come up with a plan to say, okay, here's gonna be what our percentage is per lawn, here's what our max is gonna be. And lay it out, but I think you're going in the right direction.
Okay, we'll keep, bring something back.
Yeah, perfect.
Direction. Thanks. The other topic we wanted to discuss was something like a community living arrangement, but not. So the state defines it a bit differently. It relies on peer support. So you have a group of people living in a residence that could be like a single family home in a residential neighborhood with everyone else, but somewhat like a group home, but again, defined differently by the state. Again, relying on peer support, it doesn't have a nursing team or a management team, it just relies on sort of like your
So it doesn't
resident
have like
advisor
a-
who happens to be part of
like
your,
Okay, like a resident,
yeah,
Nobody in charge.
no staff.
right.
Right.
So it's more of a diplomatic type of thing, and as far as how many we have two in West Allis, one on the east side, one on the west. There have been some calls for the one on the west side of the city, and it might just be perhaps neighbors sort of questioning, why is there an ambulance here? Why is there a police car here? There can
Probably
be
a lot of in and out traffic.
in and out traffic, so there's calls for, questioning what is it. So we looked into it, and it is a recovery residence. We don't have the ordinance that we currently have is silent on this specific type of use. So what we're suggesting is that the council wants to sort of codify this or identify it within the code via a definition. Compare parallel with the state definition, and then take a look at how we want to regulate that. Perhaps one possible option would be very similar to what we do with community development or CDRFs or community living arrangements, to treat them as a limited use within the residential zoning districts and some of our commercial districts if it's 8 or fewer residents. If it's more than 8 residents, let's say 9 or above, then it'd be considered a conditional use within the RB, which is a very prevalent residential district in our city, just south here, as well as in the multifamily RC districts and then commercial districts. That gives the conditional use would then bring these things before the city council for a little further review before they may go into business.
Steve, who owns the houses that they reside in? The state?
No, they are owned, in this case, it's like a private entity, but they set themselves up for this model of.
And then the state pays them to maintain these?
Don't
Like, what's
exactly
the?
know the payment system, but.
Right, I'm just curious, what would cause someone to say, I'm gonna buy this house, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it be a recovery house that I'm not gonna live at, I'm not gonna know if it's truly being destroyed. There's obviously what's in it for me.
These
For
religious
them.
based?
I think so. It was a private entity that.
And they're not like five, so they pay taxes. They
Yeah,
pay-
that was my next question. They're taxable.
Taxes, yeah.
Do we treat it, we pick up their garbage because it's a single family? Is it
If
considered
it's-
single
well, I
family?
mean, if it's 8 or fewer, it's treated like any other home.
Is that why you picked 8?
That's the way it is for our community-based living arrangements. Now, I mean, I guess if they do generate a lot more garbage and they have dumpsters, I mean, then they're gonna have a waste hauler, but. Yeah. But 8 or fewer, I mean, they're
But it's
treated like any other
it's a
residence.
commercial enterprise.
I will
it's a
talk to
business
DPW
making money.
specifically to see how they deal with the two in our community right now.
Yeah, and I think we gotta kind of look at that because, I mean, again, if it's a LLC that's profiting somehow, whether it's the state paying them or however they're getting their money, because they're doing it out of the kindness of their soul to just pay taxes and let these people live here, then I believe it should be treated differently than a community place where someone is working, living. They're monitoring to make sure that the people who are living there are recovering, that are holding them responsible, that are actually truly helping them to get off their feet and get into an apartment, find jobs, how to do it. And I get the peer living, but if you got a bunch of crappy peers, then you're gonna have probably a bunch of crappy neighbors in the middle of a residential neighborhood that do not care because they're just living there. They're not invested into it.
Do they have a curfew? I mean, what are the rules? What are the house rules?
All right, can they bring friends
I will,
over?
I will report back to you with more information
Looking
from
for
the
so
two groups that we have right now.
Just one quick side note question. You said obviously there's been some calls because, why is there an ambulance there or this or that, but have there been any complaints that we know of? And you might not know this
Are
either.
you talking about the one in
I think there's one on
The
there's
west
one on the
end.
other side.
Fifth District? Yeah, just up north of Morgan.
I think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of police calls, but they haven't lived this building I'm thinking of. And Kevin probably knows it better because it's right in his neighborhood. The police calls have not been tied directly to the address about, so like the nuisance property ordinance wouldn't enter into it. They were just calls for service for this address.
Okay.
They weren't like violent, at least to my understanding. I said not.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the address for the West End, but yeah, there was never enough to have us start triggering a nuisance ordinance.
Some of the neighbors are nervous. Then if this is the address.
But I will say from my experience with just social peers, the people that tend to go into the recovery residence,
Probably.
they're people who legitimately
In
want
it for the right
to,
reasons.
yeah, they're in it for the right reasons. This is not like a
Party house.
It's not a party
Transition
house, like
But it's
this
probably
is,
not court ordered either. It's not like,
Correct.
the judge made me go there or go to
Right.
jail.
this is I'm gonna get my stuff together. This is a motivated population.
Self-selecting.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't wanna get into trying to legislate that out of our community.
No.
Right, because this is a group of people that, yeah, you turned your life around. Welcome to West Allis.
Yeah.
Come be a homeowner.
Yeah, I think we just need to probably have a little bit more of a pulse on it.
I'll find out the ownership or the entity that's behind the two that we have in the city.
So it's the same owner?
That's a good question. I don't know if it is or not. I heard about the one on the west side and we happened to Google.
So
I don't
right now,
have the
there may be
details
other ones we
research
just don't
into
even
it.
know about, right? Like you're
We only
saying.
have two that based on the recovery residences kind of search that we did, I mean, we did some preliminary research and unfortunately I don't have it part of this, but yeah, then I Googled exactly, yeah. But there was one entity that controlled the west side. It seemed to they had a fairly robust website and sort of an explanation of what they were. I'll dig that up and
Can you send me that
back
link? I just want to make sure I'm thinking that I should know more about it.
Yeah, I think, I don't think anyone's against them here. I think just having a pulse on it would make sense. And if there's any need to, potentially put just where those can be or how we're gonna classify them.
I'll put something together and get back to the more details on who they are.
Cool. Anything else on 54? Nope. All right, so that was for discussion only. Do we know where the rest of the folks are? Because we are,
Holding 50.
Yeah, we're holding 51 and we still have to do admin committee for 45 and 46, so
Are we holding out admin for them as well?
no.
Oh, okay.
Do we wanna
Can
just
we-
move
Can we
to
pause and go to admin?
admin?
Well, the other alders
Or-
want to.
That was my question was, do the other elders want to be down here?
Enough
for
of the other
admin?
alders want to be here for kind of the interview with.
Okay, perfect.
Do you want me to go see where they're at?
Okay,
Okay,
thank
so-
you.
On the road it asked about 51.
He was going.
Someone else did.
I asked Kevin, he wasn't.
Suzanne.
I think there was, I was gonna say there was one other.
It must have been Suzanne base. I don't think it was Ray.
No, I don't either.
Maybe it was Ray.
I went to school with you guys. I was also on the wall.
Or maybe we didn't get your picture.
I know, that's why when they told me they were at Applebee's, I was like, wait, did they do the wall? I was like, that was what I went to school.
If they're not, like, they
If they're
can
not
just, they
ready,
can discuss when we're all back together.
Yeah, they can be mad at me later, cause then I'm gonna move forward, so.
It's already late.
Yeah, it's all like.
I was just saying, I was like, I also have a basement that I'm in the process of taking care of, and I'm so sick of laundry.
That laundromat on National?
85th.
Yeah.
At 85th?
Otherwise, 90.
So nice.
So our laundry,
It's
like,
24/7 one,
Well,
and it's
so-
been incredible.
our laundry area did get affected, thank God. I still don't have my laundry machine, but it's so, but we don't have carpeting or anything. We funneled like all the water into the drain using, to the point I was using rubber seal hose. Because I was like, I need something else that'll stop the water. So, yeah, our issue was all of our like window wells for the basement filled, so then it was coming out of the windows. Like a waterfall.
Our washing machine straight up turned on its side. Didn't know washing
Oh
machines
my
had
God.
They did.
They do, yeah. Yeah, I was, yeah,
And the seal on my dryer was for color. And it's only a little bit like ours.
I was, like I said, I was very thankful, like, I'm like carpeting, my fiance, he's, trying to be positive, he's like, at least the floor's clean. I was like, yeah, you have a point. Now they're squeegeeing the hell out of everything.
So. And then I assume. Oh, no. Oh.
He was up at.
Okay.
No. Richard. Same river. It's air flooding. Oh, that's down. You've got 10 pounds. See the one. Yeah. Well, I think when it. College. Because some of it's concrete, some of it's. Even his 10 buddies all took bikes in there. These are grown. They rode their bikes up because I took my kids in there with them. You gotta go in the summertime. It's like 55 degrees in there. Where it's 90. In most places, the water's this deep. Single deep culverts. Some places it's a giant. You can see the water tower.
Number 51, existing Class B Tavern and Public Entertainment License for Roush LLC DBA The Boozy Broad 1902 South 68th Street, Roush, how do you pronounce your last name? Roush, okay. Come on up and have a seat, please.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever, Rach. Okay.
Should be new, non-existent.
No, because it was with the facility had a permit within the last year, whether the building did, right?
No, it was revoked.
Yes,
Yeah.
Attorney.
This is exactly what we were wondering, is because there's a number of different interpretations as to existing and non-existing. At first, we're gonna say it would have to be, existing means a current license there and being replaced by someone new. Then we had a couple of applicants who had license expired. And then applied, so there's a temporary break there. So whatever the committee wants, you can use the words non-existing, existing to mean whatever you'd like. We just need direction of how you'd like those terms used.
Well, if you're asking me, I'd say expired due a lapse in paperwork, and it's essentially the new same entity, I'd call that existing. I'd say coming into a place that was revoked, I would say would be, I would say non-existing.
Yeah, if it's a new agent, I would think that's.
So, yeah, a new agent would be existing.
A new agent would be new.
So like Fat Patties.
Well, maybe we work that out.
Yeah, work that.
Yeah. All right. So April, you're looking to purchase 1902 South 68th Street. Are you gonna be leasing the business or purchasing it?
Leasing it.
Okay, and do you have a written lease agreement with the owner?
Not yet.
Okay. I see that, let's see, I had a couple of questions here and then I will open it up. So this LLC on your seller's permit, with the Wisconsin Department of Revenue, the seller's permit business name is listed at 1602 South 68th Street.
Did I put the wrong address?
Well, I'm not sure, but it's as the business name, Crouch, LLC, 1602 South 68th, and this is at 1902 South 68th, so we don't have a proper seller's permit in place.
Yeah.
And then my question with it is that previously, if there was a delinquent seller's permit linked to a particular address, which in this case there was.
Yeah.
That there was a $10,000 deposit required, in order to get a new seller's permit. Was that deposit put down? Was that?
So I was told that, because I'm a completely different person, that's him and his past. I have nothing to do with that.
And you applied for the license?
Yeah, I'm a new person.
Okay, and then I see here that there's gonna be 5 security cameras indicated outside, but no cameras inside.
Yeah, no, there's never been any inside.
And then how will exterior trash littering be addressed? It has in city.
Yeah, it's just in the back. We haven't, so I've been trying to just try and get through this because I wasn't sure how this process was gonna go, to be honest. And I'm going from there.
Okay, and then, I don't see that there was completion of the responsible beverage and server training course.
I have that.
You have?
Yeah, I can get that, the thing, my phone's dead at the current moment, so that's just taking 2 hours, but
Okay,
I have that certificate.
all right, and then,
It's been a couple of years since I held the bartender license. I used to have it in Brookfield, but it's been 2 years, so I had to retake that course.
all right, and you understand all the agreements that you agree that you're acting solely on behalf of the applicant business and not on behalf of any other individual or entity seeking the license. You agree that the rights and responsibilities conferred in the license is granted will not be assigned to another individual or entity. You understand that?
Yeah.
And, you understand that the information submitted to the city by any applicant or licensee pertaining to an alcohol beverage shall be true. Any person who submits in writing any untrue statement to the city in connection with such license or application shall forfeit no more than $500 and potentially their license. You understand that? So everything we're asking you today is to be truthful.
Yeah.
And let's see here. So you plan to be the bar manager of this bar. You're going to run it.
I'm the owner.
Of this location.
Yeah.
And you're not doing this on behalf of someone else?
No.
Okay.
So that's why everything's getting changed.
And then,
I'm trying to change as much as I can so that way it's very clear that it's not what it used to be.
okay. Let's see here. So right now, we currently don't have a valid seller's permit on file. Are there?
I can't believe I did that, to be honest. I'll redo that as soon as I get home.
Are there, other questions for the applicant?
Sure.
Yes.
April, I just wanted to go over your history a little bit. I know that you testified.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. So I watched it recently. You said that you worked at other bars.
Yeah, I opened up Cafe Hollander Brookfield.
So opened up means that you were a bartender there when you first opened up?
Yeah, I went through the whole like training process.
So were you a bartender or manager?
I was a bartender. I was our corporate events team representative. I was basically everything but the actual manager, I feel like.
So you didn't have any management responsibilities, hiring, training,
No, I did training.
ordering,
No, not,
paying bills?
No.
And you worked at the Melting Pot also?
yeah, I worked at Melting Pot. I've worked at a couple different places.
You had similar, like same level of responsibilities there. So I guess, and I hear people referring to as have worked at the previous establishment. Did you work for Neil? I mean, did you get a W-2 and a paycheck from them?
Technically,
So you were contract labor there? At the other places that you worked, you did get
Yes.
you did, so you reported, your tips were all reported and sales
I like
tax.
calendar and all that, yes, yeah.
And payroll taxes were withheld and all that. But you're saying that that's not what went on at this address under the
at
previous
the
house?
previous place. It wasn't. No.
So
It will be at the new place. Yes,
You
I've done
have-
all of that.
you have a familiarity? Do you have an accountant?
Yes, I do. I've got everything at BMO all set up and everything.
So you have a checking account already?
Yep.
Are you the only signer on that checking account? Okay, and I haven't seen your LLC paperwork, but you're
I
the.
have it all.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
Okay, yeah.
So you're the only member?
Yeah.
And you don't have any other investors?
Not at the time though.
And you said you don't, so you're not buying the business, you're creating a new business,
Yes.
and you're renting the space. Okay, so your rent includes, I assume, a bunch of fixtures, POS system is there.
We're gonna be putting in a POS out. There's not one right now.
I remember the previous guy, he just had a cash.
He just had a cash register. Yeah, I'm gonna eventually. I've got to start making money first because money's not a thing at the moment.
So, and I saw on your application that you were planning on opening
Hopefully soon.
earlier this month.
Yeah, and
Actually,
then
last month, because your
Yeah.
application went in, but with the calendar
Yeah.
and all that.
because I'm like obviously not during summer. The meetings are every 2 weeks, so that's what I was thinking. And also at the beginning of July, she
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, they're only once a month." I was like, "Oh,
Okay, so
okay."
do you have accounts set up with the wholesalers already?
Not yet. No. As at this point, I was like, I wasn't sure how this whole process was gonna go, and I was like, I don't want to jump ahead of the gun.
You're not buying Drunk Uncle. But
No,
but
Drunk
you
Uncle.
rent, the
Yeah.
business name, you're not using the business name. But your rent includes all the fixtures there.
Yeah.
But you don't have a written lease.
Well, Greg was actually in Hawaii. He just got back like last week.
And that's Neil's dad.
Yeah, that's the owner of the building. Yeah,
And he's your landlord.
yeah, he owns the building. Yeah,
So he's the person that you pay the rent to.
Yep.
You're really paying.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he literally was on vacation for like a month and a half.
But, so you're gonna have employees.
I will, yes, once I can
How
start.
many do you think you're gonna have?
Well, right now, my fiance, he wants to help out. He's in the process of, he actually just applied for his bartending license. So I'm thinking maybe one or two, not really that many.
But these will be employees of yours.
Yeah.
With W-2s.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, that's the law.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, so that's what I'm, like, that's the plan, that's the law.
Tips will get
Yeah.
reported.
Yeah.
And you'll withhold their payroll taxes.
Yep, that's why I've set up everything with the revenue and all that.
And you said you have a checking account in BMO, that's the bank. But are you using an accountant to help you with your, P&Ls and portion sizes and serving costs and all that? Have you done any of that kind of general business plan kind of thing that opening a business usually involves?
Yeah,
So you don't have a marketing budget, you have a sense of what your utility costs are gonna be, your insurance, these are all the kinds of things that business owners typically go through when they start a business. Yeah, but you really haven't done it.
Not, to be honest, no.
And so you've been in the building, I assume,
Yeah.
lately?
Not the last couple days.
Well, I mean, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that's what I just
So,
thought about that. I was like,
are you
yeah,
taking
yeah.
over any of his old inventory, or,
There's really not much in there, no.
so there's no inventory in there, or there's not much?
To be honest, I don't know. I haven't been in there recently. So there's no beer. I don't think there's really anything else.
So there's no beer, there's no liquor up there,
I don't think so, no.
because you understand that you can't use his.
Yeah, that's why that whole thing happened in May.
Because
Yeah.
the only way you could take over his inventory is if you bought his business. But you're not buying his business, you're just leasing the space. No other investors?
At the moment, no. I've had people, I've reached out to a couple of people, but
So even like applying for your license, you paid for that.
yeah, I paid for it out of my pocket, yeah.
And, when would you open as soon as possible?
As soon as everything is in order, yeah. I'm trying not to rush it.
Are you gonna use credit cards? You're gonna accept credit cards?
Well, I have like a primary job too.
I'm sorry.
I do have like I have like another job too.
so
Yeah,
you-
yeah. I take care of my brother-in-law who's mentally disabled. So I get paid to take care of him.
That's kind of a part-time, full-time.
It's technically full-time, yeah.
Your hours of operation is kind of standard bar or, but I
Yeah.
see closed on some
Yeah,
private parties on Sunday.
yeah, private parties on Sundays, so. But the nice thing is with my job, I can say, you know, my brother-in-law, he's not with me right now, but he's very mobile.
There are other questions? I don't have questions, I have comments, so if there's questions, other people should go first. Any further questions? Okay. Just want to say, April, I like you as a human.
Yeah.
So please don't take this personally. Respectively to this committee and really to the council at large, we're being asked to grant a liquor license where I personally have concerns with the applicant history and intentions. I am going to firmly oppose this request. There has been no credible assurance the Boozy Broad will be operated any differently than its predecessor, the Drunk Uncle, the bar whose license was revoked. In fact, the prior owner of the Drunk Uncle not only accompanied the applicant to file her paperwork, but personally handed her the money for the application fee. That's not a clean break, that's a continuation. It shows a troubling level of influence from the prior owner, which is further supported by the positive testimony during the Drunk Uncle's public safety hearing and what appears to be an ongoing involvement, which I interpret to mean efforts to reopen under a new name. There doesn't appear to be a meaningful plan for change and no safeguards to prevent the same issues from reoccurring. We're being asked to approve a license for a business that intends to replicate a failed model, one that we've already deemed unfit for this community. To grant this license not only is irresponsible, but it is knowingly detrimental to the safety and well-being of our residents. And let's be clear, a liquor license is not a right, it is a privilege. It is a privilege earned through trust, transparency, and a demonstrated respect for the public good. I do not think we have passed that mark. For those reasons, I'm going to strongly recommend that we reject this application. I will personally be voting no on this. I think our community deserves better. We need to hold our standards firm, and we should not allow history to repeat itself. Is there any further comments?
Madam Chair, I just have a question, and this would be for the clerk or our city attorney. My understanding is this location has been a bar dating back to probably the owner of the building ran a bar there. Can you reference, and this is just bringing kind of like Sir Greg's to mind when Sir Greg's was judged based on the new applicant there. What were the instances of calls and police interaction and things like that, short of what was social media and what we had the hearing about with the previous owner? But is there any record that that location was actually problematic, like noise ordinance, noise violations, things like that, that we have a reference of record?
If I can point out one big difference for me between the Sir Greg's issue and this is that there was absolutely no overlap between Sir Greg ownership, Sir Greg bartending, any of that. It was a clean break, right? This is prior staff opening a bar in the same place with a name that has a nod to the prior business. To me, this is very different than that
Right,
situation.
I understand it. I wasn't going there with it. I was just actually asking because if this is denied, this is what I'm thinking. It's been a bar, it was mug shots for the drunk uncle. As long as I've lived here, I remember it being a bar. So with that being said, I'm just asking on our side of things, you know, are we forever not gonna have this as a bar now? Because really basing it on the previous owner, this is a new owner coming forward. So I'm trying to think on the legal side of it. Al, if you may just give me some reference on that?
Sure, so, by law, the council can consider, not required to, but can consider previous activities at the same location. For example, the police calls were not particularly high, but I think during the hearing, it was evident that there were plenty of instances of sexual harassment, threats of violence, serving alcohol without a licensed bartender on premises. Then, of course, the final few days of operation, which there were 3 separate police calls for over intoxication, over serving, injuries, fights, things like that. So those are the instances in the past licensee experience.
Madam Chair. Yes. I think I am a huge proponent that if it's been a bar, the neighbor understands that it's been a bar. Everyone knows that. I don't have an issue with it being a bar in any way. I do agree with what Alderwoman Nollig said, that obviously there should be a clean break. I also go back, I think Alderman Weigel, was very thorough in a lot of his questions, and it does sound like between the lack of proper seller's permit, there's no systems or plans in place for anything, it doesn't seem. There's no W-2 plan in place, there's no seller's permit in place, there's no POS in place, there's no wholesaler, in place. I feel like it's almost set up to fail that way. And I don't wanna see anybody fail, I don't wanna see you fail, I don't wanna see anyone fail. But it seems like there's a lot more that may need to be done.
I agree with that statement. I think that there's a fine line we have to watch where government puts their hand in the pot, and one to assume that there's going to be ties or connections. We obviously cannot dictate who a bar can hire, who can work at that establishment. So if there was a denial on my part, it would solely be to the fact that, one, there's not a valid reseller's license in place. There's not proof of the alcohol safety classes. And then again, based on whether we feel the preparedness to be able to run the establishment by what's needed. So I just want to be very clear in my statement that my statement is not assuming whoever's involved. I don't care who paid for your license. Anyone could pay for your license. I don't care who you would have working at that bar. That is not for city, in my opinion, to intervene on some of those items. But what it is to make sure that you have the proper documentation in place, that there is a proper plan, that we feel again that this bar would be successful and would not have past repeats. And that would be my reasoning for the potential motion. Do we have any other discussion? Is there a motion on the floor?
Madam Chair, I do have.
Yes.
Again, I wasn't at the hearing. Where I will testify. But I thought first of all, she has had a license in Brookfield.
Yeah, I had one in Brookfield and I just,
So you are familiar with the license requirement?
yeah.
But-
And the seller's permit thing, that was
I'm
a typo, it sounds like.
talking about the license right now. But you apparently, probably repeatedly bartended at the drunk uncle without a license.
Yeah.
Without Neil being. Also, there were times apparently when Neil was there, as you described as a patron, getting drunk, but you were the bartender. But, I believe in the testimony, Neil said he wasn't going behind the bar because he was a patron. So I was wondering how he was getting drunk in his own bar when you were the bartender. When you said you didn't serve him. and again, you knowingly did not, you knew you did not have a license. And even if if it was on the premises, being on the premises isn't enough. You can bartend without a license if you're under the direct supervision of somebody with a license. And I'm not a lawyer, but I would say it's not possible for a drunk person to supervise bartending.
I totally agree, and that's,
Okay, so this is your past I'm talking about. So I'm gonna move for denial for this particular applicant based on her past behavior and her complete unpreparedness to operate a business in the city.
And there was a second. Yeah, a second. Okay. Is there further discussion?
I appreciate everyone's opinion. I'm really trying to come in here, with no bias and no judgment. But I think, to what you said, Dana, that there's certain overreach in some of the things that we're bordering here. And I can't recall an applicant that we asked, and I'm a business owner. Like, I didn't have to come with my business plan to show you I had an LLC or any of these other things that we're saying. I would think that she's smart enough to say, okay, I need to get this first step covered and actually be told I can get a license before I'm gonna set up my accountant and I'm gonna make this big account with vendors and I'm gonna invest money in this because we tell people, we've told them in past, people have bought buildings and they got denied on their license and we say, oh, well, you should have looked. You know, why did you do that? So I really want everybody to think that. And if somebody wants a fresh start or they want to say, okay, I'm gonna give, this business a try. I can tell you I came in as naive as the day is light running a business and I'm now 21 years later, I learned a lot. So I just want everybody to think about that. And I don't think we were having a summons and complaint and putting you on trial here, even based on your testimony. So in fairness, that's just what I wanted to say to everybody, to really be mindful of that. We are using bias, in my opinion, based on the previous owner and the problems. And if we can do that, fine, then make a judgment on that and decision. But that's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have called you Madam Woman Chair. I'm so sorry. For me, it is hard, but I am taking bias out of it. I'm taking all of that out of that. But I do know that even if businesses don't come in with these big grandiose plans, they at least have general knowledge and ideas set up and lined up for me. And I think that's where my no comes in. It comes in from you at least have the basics of running it. And I feel like I don't want you to set yourself up for failure. I don't. I would, if you can get your stuff together and be a little more prepared and you want to come back, that's to me a whole different story. I don't want to see something else there fail. I would love to see somebody succeed. It's been a bar, obviously it's been an okay bar for the neighbors for a long time. I think at some point it'll probably be a bar again, and that's okay. But I just don't want to see anyone set up for failure, and I think there needs to be more preparedness.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just a quick note, with all respect to Alderwoman Grisham, I think there's a difference between running a bar and our type of businesses where we're not as concerned with public safety. So I think there is a little bit of a higher bar there for me. But I also agree, with Alderwoman Nowak. I think, if you get a new seller's permit, and I'm even, if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to connect you to some resources that can help you with some of these things to prepare yourself. In the last 10 years, I've gone through it myself. I'd be happy to provide you some of those resources. You come back with the proper seller's permit.
I thought I had a seller's permit, just 6 of the night, flipped upside down.
I think I would definitely be open to reconsidering, but I think I'd like to see that shored up first.
Any other discussion? All right, so there was a motion to a deny and a second. So an aye vote would be in favor to deny the license. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. So this will go back to the council. And again, you kind of heard some of the feedback. I think, again, you can reapply. I believe there's a 6-month or 12-month.
If the council votes to deny, you have to wait 6 months.
For 6 months, but, you know,
It might be 6 months to.
get the seller's permit buttoned up.
I just gotta log into the thing and change the address, that's all I have to do.
You know, that's understanding that you know of who your distributors are going to be.
Well, like
what
she
some
said,
of
like I
the
wasn't
ideas.
trying to, I didn't even know how this was gonna go. And
Sure.
I'm not trying to fork out all this money and get
Right,
it
no
right.
one's asking you to buy cases of alcohol from a distributor. It's just having a little bit more of a business plan to show that you're ready to maintain this
For
bar. You're gonna maintain it in an orderly manner.
Yeah.
You're going to follow the law by what's needed to be
Yeah.
followed, that you're just gonna be a responsible owner, that this is different than what anyone else is trying to compare it to.
Yeah.
And just being a little bit more of that preparedness. I agree with what Alderwoman Grisham has said, and I said it too. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
Madam Chair, I was just gonna comment, that when we were reviewing the application in the clerk's office and the discrepancy with the seller's permit came through with the address issue, I did reach out to the state and the state did confirm that there would need to be a $10,000 deposit put down.
So why wouldn't they tell me that?
Because you didn't have the right address.
Oh.
So if you would have had the right address, they would have reached out to you to tell you that a deposit was necessary in order to obtain a seller's permit that's valid for that premise.
For sure.
So I don't know that it's gonna be that
For
easy.
sure. That
to
makes, that's
get
why I was like, why did they say something?
Yeah.
But that makes,
Because it was based on a separate address,
That
so
makes
if this
way
is
more
something that you
sense.
wanna maybe pursue, maybe you look at it just a different location, there's lots.
yeah.
Like, for me, I think if there was a delineation of no, it's not a rinse and repeat, like, you gotta see where like naming it Boozy Broad's not doing yourself any favors.
I mean, that came from ChatGPT, to be honest. I went to ChatGPT and I typed in like, I had a list of like 50 and I was
Yeah.
like, what sounds okay?
If there was a concerted effort to show that, hey, this is not going to be a copy paste.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, so this is like, I don't wanna say like years worth, so 3 years ago, I'll never forget the conversation. It was a Tuesday at 2 p.m. Neil randomly called me, he's like, I have a random question for you. I'm like, what's up? He's like, if I were to step out the street tomorrow, get hit by the bus, get out the bar. I was like, sure, like, so.
And no one's against you succeeding, you
No.
being the bar owner.
Or
It's just, again, you gotta have to stop, even if you were to go in based on what the clerk has said, you're gonna switch that to 1902.
Yeah, I
You're
used,
gonna have to have 10K in your bank.
okay, makes sense.
So we wouldn't be able to issue that based on this,
Yeah.
that, which is my denial, is actually strictly due to the fact that there is not a valid Wisconsin revenue seller's permit, which is the sole reason that I am voting to deny on this, just as an FYI. All right, good luck, maybe we'll see you in 6
Yeah,
months.
I'll change that
Got
again.
around some locations, when the lottery hit 10K, you know.
I mean,
figure it
if
out.
yes, they haven't good at casino games lately.
Yeah, all right, good luck. Thank you. Here are the Keno machines right here. All right, is there anything else to come before economic and development? All right,
Adjourn.
second, all right, we are adjourned.
Final. Call Conservation Committee to order. I noticed that all 5 members are in attendance,
Yes.
as well as Grau is here. Amy, you want to come up? 45 and pick 45. You think, well, one's an appointment, one's a resolution.
Gotcha.
So Aaron's gonna come up too.
Okay, I'm Scott.
You're good. Mayor,
You want to be here?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Just quickly, I will speak very briefly about Amy Grau, and then Aaron will speak a little bit more detailed, but first met you when we were doing Doors Open West Allis many years ago, and she was working for Doors Open through Historic Milwaukee at the time. And known her very informally over the years, just through social media and occasional bump into you, but was very happy when her name came up as an applicant, and then even more happy when it came up as a finalist. And just thank you for your time in considering this and taking the opportunity tonight to ask her questions. And I'll just turn it over to Erin, who can go into a little bit about the process and how we're here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So like the email I sent out to all of you, we had 101 applicants. We had, I didn't have this in the email, but we had 11 people go through the phone screening. And then we had 7 of those individuals have virtual interviews and then 3 finalists. So Amy was one of our finalists. We all loved her interview. It was very empowering, and we think she's going to do an amazing job here. It was a unanimous decision. Both out of the 3 applicants were the finalists, as well as me. So Amy is here, and if you have any questions for her, please.
Maybe you want to just give us a brief bio, I think.
Sure.
Most of us have seen it, but.
Yeah, so I have been in the marketing field in the Milwaukee area for almost 28 years total, but 15 of them as a marketing director. As Mayor Devine said, I was one of the people who started Doors Open Milwaukee. And in the first 3 years of the event, I ran it almost solely and got it started to be what it is now. I've worked for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee as the communications director there. I was the point person for all crisis communication there. So 170 some parishes, 117 some schools. Whenever they had a crisis situation, I would be the point person for that, as well as the media contact for that. I have overseen 6 publications in my various roles. So editing, writing, content, storytelling, social media, websites. Those are all something that I'm very familiar with as far as getting things started. Brand development as well. I've also renamed an organization and given it a new brand. St. A WellPoint Care Network is the new name of a place in St. A was the old name. They actually hired me at the time to do the whole brand development aspect of it, rename it. It was a successful endeavor. So I don't know if you have any. Right now, I work for hopefully Neighborhood House of Milwaukee. I'm the marketing and fund development director there. So not only did I do the marketing, but I also helped to raise the money for this nonprofit. Really needed it. So a lot of experience in different nonprofits within the Milwaukee County area.
Mr. Chair?
Questions?
I feel you're good at marketing. Your cover letter was great. You're good at marketing yourself, so I think that you'll obviously be good at marketing the city. How do you feel we did with the crisis? I'm just kidding, don't answer.
Pretty downstairs.
Well, we want public engagement.
Yes, we do. I feel like you're coming in at an exciting time with the rebranding of Allis, with some new roles within the last year or two of getting more community development and leadership programs, getting community members more involved, and I don't want to call them extracurricular committees, but like we're working on a calendar, like a workshop myself and some others sit on. Alderman Broad shows up for like community calendars and things, and we have some really, really exciting stuff coming. And I feel like marketing is going to be huge because the effort that we're putting into those is ours, and I'll take the mouse out of my pocket. The person that runs this is putting into. It's always easy, I feel, sometimes to get stuff off the ground, but to keep it maintained and to keep the interaction maintained from a year from now. You even notice when some of these start, right, like you have 15 people show up that all want to be part of this, and then by meeting 4, you got 4. So I feel like you're coming in at a really, really good time. I appreciate the fact that you understand West Allis, that you're familiar with it, especially with the rebranding that we're doing, because it's going to, again, be huge for marketing. I particularly don't have any questions on your skills. That you seem more than qualified. The only thing, are you looking for like long-term employment are you looking to kind of make this last one? And I only just bring it up as it looks like there's like, you know, you kind of got 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. So hoping we might be able to get more than 4 years out of you.
This is the last job I have.
Wonderful. That's all I really had. I just, yeah, it's really nice to meet you.
Yes, you as well.
Anyone else? Any other questions?
What'd you think about the Stylus rebranding?
Love it.
I say,
In fact,
none of us did it, so you can be real honest.
No, I really did. In
Pay
fact,
somebody for that.
one of the first things that I said, you know, when I was being interviewed is how I'm walking into something that is really well done. The marketing director, like just the whole package of the marketing director package itself, I'm like, wow, very impressive. I think the website is impressive, the app is great. So you have all these great tools that look really nice and very professional. So it's just a matter of like what you were saying, like one of the main things that I said that I would like to bring forward, and I feel like I have a lot of experience in it, especially with Archdiocese, is really building relationships and breaking down silos and making sure you keep that momentum going to bring that. So if you're really connecting with people and making it a regular connection, then those, you know, 4 that are left over, you know, you're hoping not to have that. So really just, I think as a marketing director, one of the main roles is building relationships. You can use all the social media tools and all the tools you want, but if you don't have the relationships built first, then they don't matter.
I love that part. I love that you've worked in more relational businesses before, because I do think that's how you keep people engaged. But I'm just gonna ask, because I love making people brag about our city, like, what is your favorite part about West Allis?
Oh, man. So I think you're the best farmers market. I mean, hands down. In fact, one of the things I came up with a whole bunch of storytelling ideas for my interview, just think brainstorming, but I honestly do know that Peggy Williams-Smith, she is the president and CEO of Visit Milwaukee. She personally told me her favorite farmers market is the West Allis Farmers Market, but she would never tell anybody that.
This is recorded.
This isn't the Vatican, we're recording.
Doesn't work. I mean, I live in Montana, so, but you know, it's close to like that. I visited all the time, like here for a lot of different things. So this is for Jeeps.
That's a joke about it.
So I guess we need to act on.
Motion to approve item 45.
Second.
Question?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And item 46 is a
Motion to
resolution.
approve.
Second.
Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye. Congratulations.
Welcome to
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?